One of my sons sent me an amazing picture of himself and his friend in the center of the action on Lag BaOmer in Meron in Israel. Meron is the place where thousands of people in Israel travel to celebrate the holiday of Lag BaOmer at the tomb of the great Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And I thought that picture was a great counterpoint to this week's Torah portion because it's a picture of individuals celebrating in the middle of a community. In this week's Torah portion, BaMidbar, we begin the fourth of the 5 books of the Torah. And in the Torah portion, the Jews are separated first into camps, 12 tribes, 4 camps, 3 tribes in each camp. And they're separated into tribes, 12 tribes with the tribe of Levi in the middle surrounding the tabernacle. And they're separated into families, and they're also counted as individuals. Now, this is not the first time that they're separated into this particular configuration. The patriarch Jacob, Yaakov, on his deathbed, made each of his sons promise that together they would accompany his coffin and take it from Egypt to Israel so that they could bury his body in Hebron in the Ma'aras HaMachpelah, the cave that his grandfather Abraham had purchased. And he gave them more instructions. He told them exactly how to stand around the coffin. He said, I don't want Joseph, as one of the coffin bearers because he's the king. It wouldn't be appropriate. And I also don't want Levi doing that job because someday he's going to serve, or his descendants are going to serve in the tabernacle and in the temple. So I want to replace those two with Yosef's sons, with Ephraim and Manasseh. And he told them exactly how to stand. 4 groups, 3 people in each spot, east, west, north, and south. And that was exactly the same way that God told them to encamp in the desert. So you can imagine how happy that must have made the Jews to exercise that muscle memory, to bring to life that prophecy, that prediction of their forefather, the patriarch Yaakov, who told them, who reassured them, someday don't worry, you'll become slaves, but you'll get out and you'll travel in the same grouping of camps. And that grouping was also meant to send a message to each of the Jews, to tell them, you're part of a camp. You're part of a tribe, you're part of a family. Your camp, your tribe, your family, they need you. They need your abilities. You've got to be productive. You've got to perform. You've got to make sure to handle your responsibilities. But it was also meant to send a message that as an individual, you're important. Because each of them was not only counted individually, but each of them during the count got to meet Moses and Aaron, Moshe and Aaron. If Moshe is going to be your rabbi, you ought to get to meet him. If Aaron's going to be your high priest, you ought to get to meet him. And imagine how great it must have made each of them to feel, to get a handshake and a smile, to be able to introduce themselves to their leaders, Moshe and Aaron. The rabbis tell us a very poignant story about the intersection of the individual and the community. And this one concerns the end of Moshe's life. When he was told by God that he would not be able to enter the promised land, Moshe begged and he pleaded every possible argument that he could come up with, until finally he said to God, I have a proposal. Take the leadership away from me. Bestow it on Yehoshua, on Joshua. Make him the leader. I'll sit in the back of the room quietly, like a regular Joe, or maybe like a regular Mo. And I'll just observe the commandments, enjoying and breathing in the air of the land of milk and honey. And God said to him, no, I can't do that because you can't do that. Because you'd still be Moshe with all of your fantastic abilities and talents. And it wouldn't be fair for you to hold on to them. You would have to share them with the people. You'd have to serve the people. You'd have to lead the people. And that's our same issue, the same balancing that we have to weigh every day. On the one hand, we want you as an individual. We love your personality. Not every person has to march to the beat of the same drummer. But on the other hand, if you work too hard, too selfishly on yourself, and you shirk your responsibilities, that's a problem. Because your camp needs you, your tribe needs you, your family needs you, your friends need you, your neighbors need you. We need you.